Good morning, everyone. I hope this is working now because I haven't streamed for a very long time. And this is my informal outfit. As you can see, I am wearing a hoodie and a pair of trainers. And this video is on the CAE speaking, and a big up to my student Gilda, who is absolutely fantastic. Let me tell you something about Gilda. Okay, so she did a year of first certificate course with me, and normally that course takes about 2 years, and she did that in about a year. And then she did the CAE course, which normally takes about 2 years, but she's ready to do the exam already. So this is to you. This is for you, Gilda. So in this video, sorry about the screening. In this video, this is, by the way, my home, and I'm streaming from home. So this is not a real screen, as you can see. It's just this is just like a screen, but not the real wall. So in the CAE exam, you have 4 parts, and I'm gonna quickly do all the parts so you can get an idea of how a good answer may sound like. Okay, so part 1, which is about 2 minutes for group of 2 people, 3 minutes for group of 3 people. So in the beginning, they will ask you your name, where you're from, and how long have you been studying English. Here you can just simply say since 2016, or for 4 years, or for 3 years. You don't have to repeat. You don't have to repeat the question words. You don't have to say, I have been studying English for 2 years. You can simply say for 2 years. It's a quick answer, and it shows that you don't speak English like a book. You speak English in a real way. Next question is, what do you enjoy most about learning English? Now, English is a subject, right? So many people study it because they have to study it. So if you don't enjoy it, don't say, no, look, I hate English, I do it because of school. Don't say that, because you're not going to make friends with the examiner. He's not going to actually love you, or she's not going to love you. So you can simply say, look, I'm interested in English because it's important for my future. If you like English, you can say, well, I get to talk to people. I have a lot of friends who speak English, or when I travel, I'm able to speak English to people from around the world. So that's the best thing about learning English, which is true in fact, because when you're traveling around the world, you speak English to different people, and it's a wonderful way of getting to know other people. There's no language barrier. Unless you learn each and every language. So then you have other questions like, what free time activity do you enjoy most? If that question was asked to me, I would say I like running, because I do like running. You can simply say dancing is what I enjoy. So you can put dancing at the beginning of the sentence. That helps to emphasize the sentence. So you can say dancing is what I enjoy the most. Then the examiner might say why, because the examiner wants to know more. Then you can simply say, because it's something which makes me feel good. It's something which relaxes me. It's something that I like to do because it is I've been doing it for a long time, and it's something I can do really well. I'm good at it. I'm really good at it. I'm brilliant at it. What sort of work would you like to do in the future? If you don't know, you can say, I don't know. I'm studying at the moment, so simple answer. And if you do know, you can say, well, I'd like to become a doctor if you want to become a doctor, a nurse if you want to become a nurse, or I'd like to work in the field of computers, in the field of advertising, in the field of mathematics, or I'd like to train as an athlete if you want. That's what you want to do. So there are different ways you can say this. Definitely, there are different ways you can say this. Use a variety of expressions. Do you think you spend too much time working or studying? You can say, no, I don't, or yes, I do, or I don't think so. You could say, you could probably say that. So, do you think you spend too much time working or studying? You can say, you could probably say that. I study a lot, I work a lot. Then the examiner will obviously say, why? And then you say, because my school is very hard, or my uni or my college is very hard, because it's very demanding. I have to study a lot because this is what I need to do if I want to get good marks. Or if you have a family on your shoulders, or you're working because you need to pay your bills or your mortgage. I remind you, mortgage is what you pay when you have a house. You can either pay rent or you can pay mortgage. So if you're paying mortgage, like to the bank, because you've bought the house, then you can say, my mortgage is really high. Next question is, do you like using the internet to keep in touch with people? You can say, oh, yes, I do, because that's the only way to keep in touch with people. You can say that's what I really use normally, because I don't use the short messaging, or I don't call people. Next question is, have you celebrated anything recently? And then the question would be how. Celebrations, yeah, they could be like birthdays, or you might be celebrating a wedding, or graduating. So those are the things you celebrate. You could say, just recently I celebrated my birthday, or just recently I had a birthday party. I had a lot of people invited, and they all came in, and they were all like, really happy. They gave me brilliant gifts, and I was well pleased. I was well chuffed. You say that in Britain, which means really happy. If you could travel to one country in the world, where would you go? Personally speaking, I'd go to Japan, because it is a beautiful country where you can visit the landscapes, as well as the countryside and the marine life, and you can learn a lot from the culture as well. So that's where I would go. You could probably say that you might want to go to America or some other country, Mongolia. Some people want to go to Mongolia. Did you know that? That's because Mongolia is a beautiful country. Look it up. It's absolutely fabulous. It's got lovely landscape, and if you like roaming around in the open, then that's where you want to go. People are wonderful. How important is it to spend time with your family? I would personally reply that it is basically it's fundamental to me, because family is everything. So it's central to my life. If you don't want to spend time with your family because you probably you are fed up, then you can say, yes, it is important, perhaps not that much anymore. So it's entirely up to you. And they will say, why? Because you'll say, yeah, mainly because family gives you support, and with your family you can talk about anything, and these are people you grew up with, so family is important. The next question would be, who do you think has had the greatest influence on your life? Personally speaking, it would be my mother and my wife, both, because they both shaped my character in many ways. My mother showed me how to struggle and fight and win over your obstacles and difficulties, and my wife showed me how to face life in a positive way, and whatever happens. And they both very important to me. So that would be your first part. Sorry, it took a bit longer than I expected. In the second part, they give you a picture to talk about. Sorry, they give you 2 pictures to talk about, and they give you 2 questions. So just remember to focus on the questions and don't describe the pictures. So the pictures I have at the moment, I can't show you, but I can describe them to you. It's a picture with some cross-country skiers. Basically, this is the kind of skiing when you're not going downhill, but you're going straight. So you know it's really hard. You cross-country skiing, meaning you're you're literally like running, but it's on skis. And there's a group of kids doing something in a kitchen, making shapes. It looks like a kitchen. So the question is, why might the people be doing these things together? So instead of describing the picture, you would say, look, people go cross-country skiing together because it is the safest way to do it. Because if you're out in the open, you get lost, you're in a group, and you can huddle up, you can get together, and you can call for help. So if your radio is not working, someone else's radio will work, and the likelihood of survival is much higher. So that's why people do cross-country skiing together. It's like, when you go on adventures into the forest, it's better to go in a group because if anything happens, you can survive that. And kids playing in the kitchen together, well, that's because kids love to do things together, whatever they do. If it's kitchen, if it's football, or if it's arts and crafts, they like to do things together because it's more fun. Simple as that. The next question is, how might the people be feeling? And I would say the cross-country skiers, I think, are pretty much fatigued. But they have a feeling of being out in the open, so they're enjoying it in a funny way. They think that it's actually fun, and it's different, probably different from their everyday life. So they're enjoying it for that reason as well, and they probably know that this is going to be a memorable experience. While the kids, they look as though they're focused, but I do think they're having fun. So I believe they are, they are having fun, and they are getting on together really well. So that would be the picture. I will leave the pictures in the description afterwards, so you can have a look at them and see. And there are other 2 pictures I can do very quickly. Let's look at the time. It's 12 minutes already. Okay. So the next 2 pictures, I can see a girl at a desk studying, and a guy with a mic singing, or looks as though he's singing. Oh, what's he doing? Wait, let me just blow this up. No, he's not singing. He's just holding something in his hand. Not sure what they're doing. So they're both students anyway. The question is, how can students benefit from doing these different activities? So while a student who's studying on her own has to revise for exams and get ready for the formal academic texts, a student who's preparing what it looks like an orchestra, doesn't it? Wait a minute. No, sorry, it's not an orchestra. It's somebody who's talking in front of a group of people. So my mistake. So he's talking in front of people, and he's going to feel a bit under pressure because of that. But it's going to help him toughen up in the future. When you're speaking in front of a crowd, you need to become very confident. You need to appear confident, and you need to overcome those inner fears of making mistakes. And so that is very different from studying on your own, where you can make mistakes and no one's going to be bothering you. So that's what I would say. How helpful might these activities be in preparing them for the future lives? Studying and talking in front of a crowd both are important because they get you ready for the future in different ways. Studying gets you ready for the qualifications, while talking in front of a crowd gets you ready to talk and be confident in front of people. For example, if you're a manager or a company director, you know. So that's it's funny how the person who's studying on her own is a girl and the guy who's talking is a man. It's very, in a way, it's a bit sexist as a picture. Why can't a woman talk in front of a crowd, you know? But that's just me. Now, the next part is part 3, where you need to talk about a situation, and the situation is what might people have to consider when making these decisions. Decisions are finding a job, getting married, moving to another country, choosing a university, starting a family. Okay, so in this case, you know, you need to talk to your you would need to talk to your partner. So, for example, if you're talking to your partner, you would say, what are the characteristics that you need to do? What are the factors that you need to consider when you are finding a job? And your partner will say, well, you know, the job has to suit your character, has to be the right kind of job for you, because if you don't like working with people, you might want to do something which is solitary. So, you know, you need to think about what kind of environment you're going into. And the next question is getting married. Getting married is a big decision in life. So you can ask your partner, do you think getting married is a crucial decision in a person's life? And your partner might say, yes, I think it is, because if you get married to a wrong person, then you're pretty much stuck. You have to get divorced, otherwise it's a legal contract. And you can agree with that, you can say absolutely, or you can say, well, you know, not really. Next question would be starting a family, like having kids. It's even bigger than the other one, like, which is getting married. Of course, you need to be ready. If you're not ready to be a father or a mother, then it's a huge issue. So mentally, it can be a problem. Next question is moving to a country. When you're moving to a country, you need to take into consideration the fact that you might not know the language. So you need to learn that. You might not agree with the way people live in that country, or that might not agree with you. So you need to consider whether you can live in that country. For example, if you're going to a very hot country, a very cold country, you might not like the weather, and you know, after a bit it gets on your nerves. So you don't want to be you want to be thinking about that beforehand. And then choosing a university, of course, it's a big decision, but many people don't know that beforehand. They can't choose the right university. Not everyone can choose the right university at 18 years of age, or 19, whatever it is, and that's why so many people drop out, unfortunately. And in the last part, which is the part 4, there are further questions like, is it best for people to make decisions on their own or ask others for advice? I would say it's best to do both. Yeah, some decisions you would need help, whereas others you would need to, make the decision on your own. Take your own responsibility. So it depends on the decisions. Next question would be, how do you think young people can be helped to take on responsibilities? I would say by showing them the consequence of lack of their action. If you don't take action, then you will absolutely pay for the consequences. So you need to show them what happens if they don't take on responsibilities, and that's how they learn. Do you think people whose job involves making important decisions should be highly paid? I think so. People whose job it is to make difficult decisions should be paid more, because if they get those decisions wrong, then they end up paying a high price for it. So that's pretty much it. I hope you found this video interesting. It is a CAE exam from the Cambridge English website. I might have covered this in another video before. I realized that sometime in the middle of the video, but never mind. I will do another one next week on the proficiency exam, on the CPE exam. So for now, thanks very much for watching the video. I shall see you soon. Goodbye for now from here at English 360. Bye. Cheers.